I'm Steven from Fliver Channel. It's been raining all afternoon, but that's fitting, I guess, because this video is about driving a Model T in the rain. On my very first ever Model T tour, I guess you could say I was lucky that I was able to experience both fair weather and foul. I had never driven my T in real rain before, so this was my christening, so to speak. This video is a recounting of my wet weather experiences in my first ever Model T tour. It was the Can-Am Niagara Tour in May 2024, hosted by the Ontario chapter of the Model T Ford Club International. A little background. My Model T is a 1926 two-seater runabout or roadster. In 1920s parlance, it's called an open car. It has a split windscreen and a convertible top, but there's no side windows of any kind. If you're driving in the rain, you can still get wet. Any crosswind, turbulence, or horizontal rain comes right in. Back in the day, drivers of open cars simply accepted getting wet or they fitted side curtains. These were canvas or vinyl panels that could be clipped in place to form fabric side windows to keep the rain out. They were normally held in place by two kinds of fasteners, which will be familiar to boaters, but not very familiar to car people. They're called common sense fasteners and lift the dot fasteners. Yes, they're actually called common sense fasteners. What a weird name. Anyway, I was lucky to find that someone had already installed these fasteners in my car. I have no side curtains, but the car was ready to accept them. Now, I've never been on a tour, and I had no idea if everyone would have side curtains or if seasoned tour people, tourers, tourverts, tourists, I don't know, whatever people who tour often are called. I'll go with tourverts. I didn't know if tourverts typically use side curtains or not. As I was preparing for the tour, I decided that I did not want to get wet if it rained. So I was planning to make some sort of makeshift side curtains red-green style. But my lovely wife had other ideas, and she and I quickly whipped up some paper templates. Then she sewed some prototype curtains from clear vinyl. She left the installation of the lift the dot and common sense fasteners to me though. And as you might expect, I didn't get them done in time. So late at night, at camp, the night before the tour began, I needed to get those installed. Rain was in the forecast for day number 1. The result of the hasty curtains looked pretty good in the dry light of day. But I had no idea how they'd perform on the road in the rain. Would they fog up? Would they flap violently? Would they tear themselves to bits? Would they leak? I had no idea. Day 1 was overcast at first, but no rain, so I left the curtains folded in the trunk. But it wasn't long before the rain came. All of a sudden, Model Ts were diving off the side of the road, stopping, and their passengers were scrambling about, raising roofs and donning yellow rain suits, sometimes called oil slicks or slickers. You heard right. The tourverts were not fitting side curtains, not one. Seems that seasoned tour participants don't bother with side curtains, they just wear rain suits. Well, we went to so much trouble to make these side curtains that I'd be damned if I wasn't going to try them. So I fitted them up and raced off into the torrential downpour. And they worked great. They didn't fog up, visibility was good, they didn't flap, they didn't leak. They were astonishingly refined. I left the windshield gap cracked open a little, and that airflow into the cabin inflated the curtains and kept them clear of condensation. It was dry and comfortable in the car. Seems my wife knows exactly what she's doing, and that'll be no surprise to any of you who know her. I found the curtains to be easy to install, and they worked really well. I no longer have any trepidation about the rain. My tea is now fully 3-season ready. I guess the next challenge is winter, so stay tuned for some winter experiments and adventures when the snow flies again in a few months. This is Stephen with Flivver Channel, signing off. Thanks for watching.